I have been hearing stories all over YouTube and different social media platforms about people being laid off right before the holidays, and I want to share my story in hopes of encouraging others during this rough season right now. I know that it's rough when you're going through these things, especially right now because of inflation being so high and just everything being so expensive. And I think the most difficult thing is the uncertainty. So when you lose your job, you feel like your livelihood is being snatched from you. A lot of us have children, families that we need to support. And so when these things happen to us, we're like in this state of shock, and just like the uncertainty is what makes it so much worse, right? Because you're like, oh my gosh, I need to find another job ASAP. Some companies give a severance package and some companies don't. And so it's like now you're like in limbo, like, oh my gosh, I need to find something else like ASAP in order for me to pay these bills. Because at the end of the day, the bills keep coming each month. They don't stop coming. So I totally understand all of it. But I did want to remind you that God doesn't want us to be worried. He doesn't want us to be anxious about anything. And I know that is easier said than done. But oftentimes, rejection is God's redirection. I was laid off twice in my career. And the both times that I was laid off, it was due to my position being eliminated. So I have not been happy in my career for quite some time. I've been in the healthcare industry for 17 years now, and I have been praying to God like to guide me, to lead me, to close doors that are no longer for me and to open new ones. And so I know that this was answered prayers. And let me tell you, when you pray that prayer, all I'm going to say is you better be ready. That's all I'm going to say. You better be ready, because when God answers that prayer, it is no joke. So the first time that I was laid off in my career due to my position being eliminated, I was kind of caught off guard, but I was so blessed to be given like a pretty decent severance package. And then God blessed me with another job right away. Like I had no gap in my employment. And I know that that's all God, because He always looks out for me regardless. But then the job that I was hired into after I was laid off from that one, I was there for almost 3 years. And then that was the most recent job that I just had. And I was laid off again due to my position being eliminated. All my life, I just knew that the whole 9 to 5 was not for me. I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just never knew how to, and I didn't know what exactly I wanted to be doing. And please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not talking down on anybody who's working a 9 to 5, or anybody who feels like they're in their purpose and they're happy at their 9 to 5, because some people are meant to be at a 9 to 5. They love working, they love their job, they love their career, they love what they're doing. And so this is no pun intended. I'm not talking down on anybody that is working a 9 to 5. I've been working a 9 to 5 all my life. I totally understand that we all have to start somewhere. We all have to have a humble beginning. I'm all for using your 9 to 5, right, to fund your dreams, your goals. For a few years now, I've been working behind the scenes, like on different endeavors and different things that I've been pursuing, because I have been trying to work towards building different streams of income, because I don't want to rely on one source of income. So this last layoff was personal. It was the moment that I realized that I need to make some major changes in my life, and that I no longer want to rely on a 9 to 5. I no longer want to rely on just any one source of income, period. This was like the pivotal moment in my life, like the turning point. And this last layoff has taught me so much. I've been able to take time to really sit back and reflect, and to really put my life into in order, basically, and do what I know I have been called to do, and what I was supposed to do for a while now. It's just that I've been like holding on and clinging on to something that God is like, you got to let go of this. This is no longer for you. And my walk with God has really taught me so much. It has taught me that when God is trying to do something new in your life, He's going to make you very uncomfortable where you're at, because you're not meant to be there anymore. And I knew that it was long overdue for me to move on from this job. And it was not just to move on from this job in particular, but from this career that I have been in, because I was just content. I was comfortable. I was getting a good salary, and it was paying the bills, and I was just content. I was just comfortable. I was stagnant, and I did not want to step out of my comfort zone. So I literally felt like God forced me out of there. God will nudge you and he will guide you and he will tell you, like, hey, this is not for you anymore. But the truth is that we don't be listening sometimes. Sometimes we're not obedient and we operate in fear and we don't have enough faith to take that leap. And so for me, I feel like God was like, oh, okay, you don't want to listen to me. So I am going to do this then. And you're going to be part of the budget cut right now. So it was literally the turning point for me and a huge wake up call. It reminded me of a scripture in Ecclesiastes 11:2, which says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. What I realized was that a 9 to 5 really is not a secured form of income. I realized that I will never put all of my eggs in one basket ever again by relying on just one source of income. And I realized that these organizations, they're not loyal. My last layoff was right before Christmas. So you tell me if these organizations really care and value their employees. Like I said, I've been seeing the same thing happening to so many people this year. All over social media, people are sharing their stories. They're recording themselves being laid off. And it's just so sad because we work so hard for these organizations. We give them our all. We spend more time at work for the most part than we do with our own families. And we're here working so hard building somebody else's dream, but we don't go hard for ourselves to build our own dreams, to build our own legacy, so that we can leave our children and their children with something. So now I finally know like what my God-given purpose is. I know what's God's will over my life right now. And my relationship with God is what really truly helped me to discover my gifts, my talents, and my purpose, and what His will for my life is. So I'm going to continue to hustle, to grind, to work hard towards building my legacy from my family. And I just know that God is going to bless my hard work. I wanted to share with you a scripture from the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 6 through 11. And it says, go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief and scarcity like an armed man. I love this scripture because it literally reminded me of myself. It reminded me of me being content and being comfortable and afraid to step out of my comfort zone and just relying solely on this 9 to 5 salary. I was literally putting all of my eggs in one basket. I was just content. I was comfortable with my bi-weekly paycheck that was getting me by, that was paying the bills. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to work hard. I want to build something meaningful for my family. I want to teach my children that if they are happy working a 9 to 5, great. If they're not, then they don't have to. You can work hard to build your own business, to build your own brand, to build whatever you want to do. Your income shouldn't have a cap. Most of these 9 to 5s, well, all of them, they have a cap. It's like there's a cap that you can make only so much. And we were made for so much more. And just how the people of the world have riches, the children of God can also be blessed. There were so many wealthy people in the Bible, like Job and Solomon and so many others. So we could too. We could use, the love of money is the root of all evil, not money. And we can use money to bless others and to do good things, to take care of our families, to give back to our communities. So if the 9 to 5 is not for you, it's okay. If you're more of an entrepreneur and you want to do different things and you want to venture out to do your own thing, to leave something, a legacy behind for your family, then by all means you can do it. I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for all of us who just want to get out of this rat race and realize like this 9 to 5 is draining. It's not enough. It's just not it. And if you want to stay at your 9 to 5 and do other side hustles, by all means, whatever you want to do, But just know that right now, A 9 to 5 is just not enough. A 9 to 5 is not security. And I just wanted to share my story to encourage you and to remind you never to depend on any one single source of income, especially not a 9 to 5. Because the truth is that at a job, you're dispensable. Once you're no longer needed, once they're done using you, once the budget cuts come and they're reevaluating things, they will not think twice or blink twice to make you part of that budget cut. So remember that rejection is God's redirection. And what may feel like a setback right now can actually be a setup for God's plan for your life. If any of you are going through a season of rejection, I'd love to hear about it in the comments because I'd love to pray for you. And I'd love to encourage you and to remind you that God has better plans for you. I know right now in the moment, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like a setback. It hurts. It feels discouraging. Later, you will see that it was all for a higher purpose and that God has better plans for you. I hope this message blesses you. I hope it resonated with you. God bless you. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video.